field for hours and nothing, and then as soon as I get in a tight spot, she calls me.
That's right. Never fail. I know how that goes.
All right,
Yeah.
we're good now.
Okay, we rolling now?
We are rolling.
This week on Valley Ag Weekly, we're in southern Vigo County at the Garmong Farm, and Jeff Garmong joins me. And Jeff, first of all, thanks for joining me.
You're very welcome.
We're wrapping up a year and starting a brand new year. As we look back on 2014, what do you see as some of the big things that happened in 2014 as far as the farmers go?
Well, I think there were several things. I think, first of all, it was probably in this area one of the best years we've had in a very long time, if not ever. We had a great growing season. We got started off really well. The crops produced really well, had lots of bushels. Of course, that means that usually the price is down, which is definitely the case. So we deal with that. That's part of the industry, and that's what happened. So
I know with that big yield, there were some storage problems there too. I mean, they couldn't get it all trucked out of here, from what I understand.
I think storage was the key this year. If you didn't have storage on farm, you know, the elevators filled up very quickly, and that just made it very difficult to get the harvest out this year for a lot of guys. Storage was the key. It wasn't that farmers didn't work hard and do the right things. They just couldn't get it out because there was no place to go with it.
Now, you've been farming down here for a long time. How many acres do you farm?
We farm right at 2,000 acres.
And is all that in grain or?
Yes, corn and soybeans. We do a 50-50 rotation, and we switch every other year.
And the family's been farming for how long?
This farm's probably been here for close to 100 years.
Wow.
5 generations.
So it's a real family farm then.
Absolutely.
Well, you're also with the Farm Bureau, and of course there were some things that happened. The Farm Bill was signed into law at the beginning of this year. So what are some of the highlights of the Farm Bill we might want to talk a little bit about?
Well, the Farm Bill is the probably the most intense or most detailed Farm Bill we've ever had, but it's the first time farmers have choices. We actually have 3 different programs that you can choose from, so it will take a little homework by farmers. There's a website that farmers can go to punch in some numbers from their own farm and actually do some checking and see which program would work best for them.
And there's some seminars coming up too that the farmers might be interested in, right?
Yes, there is. There's some seminars sponsored by FSA, Farm Service Agencies, Purdue Ag Extension, and Indiana Farm Bureau. There's about 4 of them left. Actually, all of them are next week, maybe one the week after. You can go to the Indiana Farm Bureau website to find dates on those and register for those, and highly recommend those for people looking to see which program they want to choose.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk with Jeff some more about the Farm Bureau and his role on the Farm Bureau board. This is Barry Kent, and this is Valley Ag Weekly. Okay. Ready for segment 2?
Yep.
We're back with Jeff Garmong on Valley Ag Weekly here in southern Vigo County. And Jeff, you're with the Farm Bureau. Tell us a little bit about actually your role in the Farm Bureau.
Well, I'm on the State Board of Directors, which gives me 10 counties here in southwestern Indiana that I represent on the state level. That area goes basically from Terre Haute to Bloomington to Bedford to Vincennes, kind of that area, about 10 counties. And I go to their board meetings and listen to what their concerns are, and then I take that back to the state where we have board meetings every month and represent them there.
And there are some things coming up here that you're going to be discussing with the legislature. Tell us a little bit about some of those things.
Well, there are 2 or 3 issues that are key issues for us this year in the legislature. One being property tax and the agricultural part of that, ag land, and at what rate it's taxed at, and how we believe that ag is taxed heavily, but we don't use a lot of the services that property tax pays for, and so that's a concern for us. Plus, as our inputs go up and our prices go down and property tax goes up, it just makes it very difficult to do what we do. A couple others we're dealing with is water resources. You know, we had the drought a couple years ago, and of course that raised issues of water and you know, how do we best use it and to keep it a resource. And areas in our state that have less water, more water, we need to be concerned about that and look at that and see what we can do. And then another issue for us is forced annexation. A lot of smaller cities and towns need funds. We know that. And one of the things that is happening is some annexation around the state, and our concern is, you know, forced annexation. That needs to be something that's voted on and everybody agrees to it. And then to make sure that when farmland is annexed, that it needs the services or gets the services. So there's just a lot of things, and we just want to work with legislature and talk through those. And
How is this legislature? Is it pretty farm friendly?
oh yes,
Yeah,
we've had a
that's
very
good.
farm-friendly legislature for the past few years.
Right, that's good.
We look for this year to be the same. They've worked with us very well. We've had some great successes. We've been dealing with this land soil productivity factor for several years, and we've been working with them, and they've delayed it a few times so that we get the right answer.
Yeah, well, that's good that you can work with the legislature
Yes.
that way. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. You've shed a little light on last year and things coming up this year with the legislature and the Farm Bill. Appreciate you joining us here on
You're very
Valley Ag
welcome.
Weekly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been Valley Ag Weekly. I'm Barry Kent.
All right.
Good deal.
All right.
Good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll come back.